Good morning, guys. It is leaving day. I'm about to go downstairs to take out the trash. So the first thing, I'm on the 4th floor, which to me is a preference because the first thing is it is not the first floor, because on the first floor I think that you leave your valuables in. It's easier for someone to like break in if you're on the first floor. And the next thing is, whenever I book an Airbnb, I definitely like Airbnbs where there's like a lobby, so like there's an additional security point. Like someone has to get in, they have to like go past that point, and then of course they have to go into an elevator to get exactly to your room. So that's something that I think is a tip for me. Preferably, I wouldn't want to be on the 4th floor because I did experience an earthquake here and being up so high. But yeah, that's just one of those things. Now that I'm downstairs, I can point out something to you guys if you ever think about booking this Airbnb. Now for this Airbnb, that is the laundry room. There's only one washer, one dryer for the entire thing. I think it seems to be somewhere about 7 floors. But how it worked, if you're here for like a week, you get one free wash where you can just tell the host, yo, I want this particular day, and they will just put in your code that you can enter. So the same code that enters you into your room and the front door would be the same code that gets you into the laundry room and you can wash your clothes. For me, that's an okay deal. But again, you're in Colombia, so if you want to WhatsApp a clothes washing company, they can come here, pick up your clothes, bring it back, and it's super affordable. I've never done it before, my friend did, but she didn't complain about the price. All right, so for the moment that we've been waiting for, let me enter my code. Let me hide that because I'm joking. Like, I am leaving here today, so it doesn't matter. Boom. All right, so now we are in the Airbnb. So as you guys can see, it is pretty small, but I would say it's functional. I did do a YouTube live where I spoke to a couple people, and one person said that it reminded them of a ship-sized cabin. I would definitely agree, except it's a lot higher, and well, it depends on what size ship-sized cabin. If it's a cruise ship, yeah, usually one of their mid-tier rooms would be about this big. But I've been here for a week. I didn't feel clustered. Everything felt very functional. Nice big window. Even the view, I guess it's a typical Colombian view, looking at red brick buildings for the most part, but pretty much ventilated. This Airbnb doesn't have any air conditioning, but in the Medellin area and most parts of Bogota, definitely you don't even need air conditioning because the temperature is pretty good. In Bogota, it's super cold, so there's no point for the air conditioning. And in Medellin, for the most part, it's just nice temperate weather. Like the weather is pretty good. All right, let me show you guys the kitchenette really quick. All right, so clearly I knew I never had a plan to do any form of cooking whatsoever. I mean, you can Rappi a lot of things here. Rappi is pretty cheap. The food is pretty cheap, as I've mentioned several times. So that was kind of pointless. And I am here to actually experience a different culture. So in here, it's very basic. It's probably less than a kitchenette stuff that you would need. For example, you only get just one fork, one spoon, one knife, basically, just one of each thing. And same thing with plates. So yeah, that was pretty functional. I had cereal and I made shakes and stuff like that. Never used any of these. Fun fact, I only cooked in Colombia one time when I did curry chicken at another Airbnb that I was at. Very first time using an air fryer, I used this in Colombia, and this thing is wicked. I actually toasted bread in the air fryer, so that was pretty functional. Kettle, never used. And this is like an attachment. Oh, let me show you something really quick. Where's that guy? There you go. So I probably did a video already where you've seen I tried that thing. It's basically like a omni porridge, but flatter, not as nice and sweet and with all those spices, but yeah, it's okay. And over there, just over there, you will see the local that I had food from yesterday. So this is how I was able to look over there and know that it was a popular enough spot for the food to be okay. And there goes the view there. Yeah, mostly a lot of brick buildings. When I first came to this side, I was kind of conscious. I thought it felt a little bit rough, but actually it's not. Once you walk inside, in and around the community, you'll see like a bunch of malls, just a bunch of nice things, nice people, not much violence. One night, however, I did hear like gunshots just rattling off, like going crazy. If you did watch a Community 13 video that I posted, there's a part where the tour guide mentioned to us that that Community 13 is very safe now, but in and around the parts there are like bad areas in Colombia. So you really just have to know the parts that are pretty good to stay in. But I think at some other point I'll teach you guys where I've been to that is good and that I know for a fact that is good based off research. All right, back to the kitchen area. So there's a blender here and the blender bottle, and it works pretty well. I use it almost every single day. Don't have to mention what that is. But down in here, it's a small fridge. Depends on who you are. For me, it was a little bit close to comfort because I had to be stocking up things like bottles of water because I don't drink the water from here at all. Some people say it's good water when I review it on the internet, but then some people say I shouldn't drink it. I remembered one time I drank like 2 bottles of the water. That's 2 bottles of what I filled up from the top, and then I was getting runs for a little bit. I was wondering if it was the milkshake that I had, but I'm assuming that it could be it because ever since that, like, yeah, I never had the issue. So I wouldn't drink the water any whatsoever. And back home I drink tap water, no problems. So that's that. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but to each his own. And the bottles of water here is cheap anyway. That is like an electric burner. I did not use that at all, and there's some storage space on there. All right, so let's get into the center of the room. All right, so first of all, I really appreciated these accent walls. They felt very, very natural, but then the room had this, to me personally, has like a very nice modern look with that type of New York type of industrial unfinished type of look, which I don't mind. Now you can see the pipes there. Ever so often, if someone like took a shower or whatever, you could hear the water running through there or whatever. So if you don't mind that, then no problem. But when you hear the water coming through, it probably came through for like literally like 30 seconds. So I'm not sure if it's the shower water, if it's just the toilet. I have no clue, but there's that. And then the lighting for me at nighttime was adequate. As a content creator, we love having places with a good amount of light, but daytime light, that was pretty good. All right, let's hop into the bed here. This is a place where you may never be able to have any action depending on the rules of your Airbnb, like I mentioned before. So if you look at the bed, it's not necessarily a big bed. My girl and I, we've slept on beds this size before and it's also okay, but it's a pretty close sized bed. I'm not sure if this Airbnb allows 2 persons, so I can't really speak to that, but the bed was adequate enough. Now let me show you guys, the storage here really quick. I love little storage areas and cubby holes, so boom, in there. It's pretty deep. I think you could fit a small suitcase, like a carry-on suitcase in there, no problem, as well as possibly like your laundry bag, stuff like that. Little shelving and stuff. Yeah, you can make it work. I love when an Airbnb has shelving, like give me the options to put my stuff on places. And then this cubby hole, I liked it and I didn't like it because if you're not careful, I think I hit my arm on here a couple times. I was probably watching TV or whatever. And then, yeah, that I bought. This that cost me $1.50 and makes the place smell really good. Now, one thing I love about this Airbnb for sure, and it's a key thing for every Airbnb that I go to that decides if I'll book it again, is having plugs in several places. So there's a plug right beside the bed, so you can have your phone plugged in. There's another plug right there, right beside the bed. So that to me was pretty awesome. And there is a plug right here. There's a plug right there. And behind my suitcase here, let me see. Yep, there is another plug. So there's plugs literally all over this Airbnb. Like there's even a plug just above the TV there. You probably wouldn't have much use for that. All right, now speaking of plugs right there, I use here as an office space. So that's the key thing. A lot of people come to these countries because they want to work remotely. This one was just about doing the right thing. with this thing here, so I could fold it down, put my laptop on there. It was a little bit finicky to a little point, but I liked it because it closed back up, gave the room more space and no problem. And I was able to put like all my little gadgets and charging things there. So like I said, love extra shelving up top here as well. Love the extra shelving. That's amazing. Now let's take a look at this here. This is the most important thing for a lot of us, the internet. So the last Airbnb that I'm coming from, the internet was crap. That Airbnb, it was similar to this, very industrial type of looking thing. I love the design of it. It was a bit noisy because a lot of the stays in Colombia are literally by the roadside, and that's why I mentioned having some height from the ground, so that way you don't have much road noise coming in. But that one was probably like third floor, but it was directly beside the road. And that's another thing about Colombia, like they make proper use of their spaces. So most times wherever you're staying, there could be a restaurant on the base floor, there could be a washing machine place, like any type of business. There's always like a local or some business place usually like below you. So that's that. Now with that space that I was at before, the internet really sucked. Like you could not stream a YouTube video on your computer at all. So what they did on the first floor, like a hotel, they actually shared the internet box with everybody. The signal was strong, but the internet was crap. So whenever you're booking your Airbnbs, make sure that you check that, or you ask like, do I have my own internet box? So that way you can actually be getting very good speed. In Colombia, so far in Bogota and Medellin, I found that the internet is blazing quick, bro. Like really fast, especially the upload speed. As a content creator, we normally upload information to the internet. I am uploading videos at least probably 2 to 3 times faster than I do back home, so that's amazing. And even in the US too, I find that the internet packages in the US are pretty expensive and the internet isn't as fast as some places. Like, yeah, go figure. All right, so let me close this up. And yeah, I usually put my small suitcase just down there, and then this big suitcase, I would put it over here. So let's look at this storage space here. My last Airbnb didn't have this many shelves or just storage space to put your clothes. If you're gonna stay anywhere for a while, having somewhere to put like your change of clothes for tomorrow or the day after is good, especially when you're living out of your suitcase. No one wants to be going to their suitcase like 10, 20 times just to get a pair of clothes or, you know, a device or whatever the case is. So that's basically that. I think amicable enough space, you can pack out at least 3, 4, 5, 6 different outfits and you should be good. Never used up here whatsoever, but I thought this was convenient. So if you had like, you know, more suitcases, like I think for the average person, your suitcases could fit in here definitely. So yeah, this place you could stay here for a minute, and there are deals for that. You can get it cheaper than $16 actually if you talk to the owner. Yeah, what I love, of course, is always having hanger space so I can hang clothes, so I don't have to, you know, worrying about them crushing up in the suitcase or whatever. So there's that. And then down here, it's also the same if you look closely. There's also another hanger space down there. So you could hang your clothes, you could fold your clothes, whatever the case is. But that's how I worked this space here. All right, so now we're going to walk to the final room. I don't have to talk about the TV. TV is a basic TV. Man, everybody would love to have a Samsung TV to watch on, but it was basic, it worked. I don't have much complaints on it. But let's walk towards the bathroom. Now the bathroom itself was pros and cons, but it worked for me, so let's head in there. Now of course here you can't quite complain, you're spending $16, but the first thing you might notice is this. Like, what's missing? What is missing from here, guys? Yeah, obviously that's what's missing. And it depends. If you're staying with somebody, which I'm not sure this allows 2 people, I'm not sure, but if you're going to be staying with somebody, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a little bit crazy, but it was just me alone, so it worked. So if you look in the bathroom, there's a nice little mirror. I think it's modern enough. Everybody, I think, or most people love a glass, you know, a glass separation, because the curtains, when I see curtains, I just think about like yeah, bacteria. That's just me. Then of course, modern enough that the switch there, that there, and what else? Is there a plug in the bathroom? That's probably the only place there's no plug. A little bit of storage space under there. That's where I would put like, you know, my, you know, colognes or whatever, and there's a space under here. Yeah, I'm not too big a fan of this type of crazy piping that they use, because I found in the last couple of days I could get a little bit of the sewage smell from under there. So for a lot of people that watch your content, they always say, yo, when I watch your video, I learned something. So under your sink, there's something what you call an S-trap. You always wonder, like, why is it like this, that type of loop? Now, it's an S-trap. Initially, I thought that the S-trap served one purpose, which was to possibly like catch rings. So if you're washing your hands or whatever, and then your ring falls off, then it would stop there. I guess it does work for that, but it also serves another purpose, which is there's always water trapped in the S. And what that does, it prevents like bad toxic smells coming up from the pipelines back into your household. So that one there, I don't think the S was really trapping anything. So that's definitely why I think you were able to smell some of the sewage smell from time to time. So yeah, I think they need to work on that, and I will leave that in my review for the host. All right, and the last part here. Now, like I said, I do love the glass, but I just do not like when they have like this half glass separation, because what happens, like water just starts beading off over here. So like a lot of the times that happen. I'm not really one to complain for that, but if I were to do that, I would do it differently. I guess it's because it's like a lack of space, and you can't make it too narrow, because persons who are a little bit more weighty would, you know, be a bit difficult for them to get in. But or just even for you, feel pretty cramped. But you probably could do like a sliding door. I don't know, but I'm sure it's possible. And yeah, this is where I took my showers. Nice little rain shower there. Had hot water and everything, so that was cool. So all right, guys, that basically, I think that covers everything for my little Airbnb. Like I said, only $16 for the price. I think it was one of the definite better ones. Usually you can get them for 16 bucks or a bit cheaper, but things don't flow as well. It doesn't feel much like a house. And let's be real, when you're traveling anywhere for a time, you do want to feel even the smallest thing to feel like you're at someone's home or at your own house, you know, goes a very long way. When you start paying more, when you pay like 25 going to like 30 bucks, you're going to get even nicer Airbnbs. Funny thing that I checked is, if you try to check on Airbnb, especially in the Medellin area, for Airbnbs that are like $100 or $200, your search bar actually gets less, because there are a lot less of those available. You're going to find a lot more Airbnbs ranging from like 30 to 40 bucks that are just going to be nice Airbnbs. Once you hit the 50 mark, you're getting like 3 bedrooms, pretty nice places. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this video up. Thank you guys for chilling with me. I know the video went from up to down and back to up, but you know, that's just the joys of living and just being, you know, honest about the travels that you are having. I hope to catch you guys on the next video. Remember these 3 things: love, nature, and adaptation. And I hope you learned something and I helped you with your trip out here to Colombia. Whenever you do take it, keep the link.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by. Doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow.